Hi there and welcome to another video on my channel, Serenity by Sue. So tonight, it's really late, you can tell. It's nearly 2:15 in the morning here on the East Coast of the United States, and I have no idea what to whisper, confess to you tonight, because there's just so much going on that my brain is coming out of my ears. That's an expression that a friend of mine uses, and literally my brain is coming out of my ears and I have none left. I really don't. We've been so busy lately doing buying a house, selling a house, and doing it kind of on our own. So that's been fun. No, it really has been. I've learned a lot, and I think that's really important, that each day you're learning something new about yourself, about people closest to you, about your environment. Yeah, just learning something new and looking for the connections that you make when like, it doesn't matter what you're looking at. Sometimes I'll go on social media and I'll just scroll through, and then when I find something that really resonates, or I feel like, okay, that's the reason I was meant to be on social media today, to find that piece of information. And maybe it's something just fun to know, or maybe it's something relevant to what I'm going through. But I find that when I find that piece of information and I've learned something, then I feel like, okay, that was it. That's the reason I was on social media. So that's like making a connection instead of mindlessly scrolling and just not really absorbing what you're learning. Of course, some of that stuff, don't even bother, because like tonight we watched a movie just as we were eating dinner, and we have seen this movie before, but we couldn't remember it. We remembered certain scenes that made us believe, yeah, we've seen this movie before. But hand on Bible, I would have said, nope, never saw that movie before. And I think to myself, my gosh, hours of my life wasted because I didn't retain anything. There was nothing in the movie that was worth remembering. Isn't that sad? It was an okay story, but it wasn't like, wow, I learned something. Not like a movie that makes you really think, like A Few Good Men. Or even, there are a lot of movies where you can take something from them and learn something. So that's all to say that I think it's really important to be learning something new every day, and especially about yourself, because you are your biggest mystery sometimes, right? Things that you might think of, you're like, where did that come from? Or even exploring your ancestry. I find that fascinating, because the blood that flows in you came from your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, going all the way down the line. And I really do believe in the imprints of their experiences are passed down to you. And those can be good, or they can be challenging, and really spending time with yourself, I think, is super important. Thinking, learning, and after after you do that, then, learn from it and move on. So not just learning from our mistakes, but learning from our past, the present. What am I talking about? My God. But I do think that's important. So what did I learn today? I learned that I can do a lot more than I thought I could in a short amount of time. And this will probably be pretty short because it's getting really late. And it's funny, I don't feel tired because I guess I am, because I really can't put two words together. One thing I want to do, not tonight, but I told you guys that I lived in Hong Kong for a lot of years, and it was such a beautiful, it is a beautiful place, and I miss it so much, and I hope to get back there. But I think the language they speak there is Cantonese, and there's a big movement. I was part of it. I kind of took a step back because I want to be working on some other projects. But I want to maybe get more involved again in speaking Cantonese, teaching people how to speak Cantonese. Maybe. But maybe not, because the reason I stepped away from teaching, and if you're interested, you can look at my other channel on YouTube. It's at Cantonese Corner. So Cantonese and Corner. If you look for that on YouTube or just Google it, you'll find my other YouTube channel. And that was a lot of fun. But I kind of took a step back a couple months ago because I wanted to focus more on just really spreading the word of rolling with it and leading with that respect in your life. And a lot of that I gained from living in Hong Kong. So I want to kind of take that blend of East and West. I mean, Hong Kong was near perfect in so many ways. It still is, but it's a little bit different now because in 1997 the British gave it back to Hong Kong, gave it back to China, to the mainland, and they were promised 50 years of autonomy. That means that in 2047, I guess they were magically going to flip a switch, and then Hong Kong would truly belong to China. But as we all know, there were some pretty horrific growing pains, and there were a lot of riots, and oh gosh, I can tell you stories about that, like being caught. It was so surreal because we were going down to see a movie. It was Sound of Music, and it was a sing-along. If you haven't been to the cinema where you do a sing-along and the audience is just expected to sing every note, every word of the movie. And the night we were to do that, well, first of all, it got canceled because there were riots and protests and marches where the theater was. And so it was canceled. This was, I think, we were supposed to see it in July or August, and it was postponed to September. This would have been 2019. My gosh, is it 4 years already? Or maybe 2020, but that was COVID. So no, it would have been 2019. And yeah, for sure it was 2019. Anyway, so it was postponed because of the riots, and that night it was showing there were more protests and riots, firebombs and all the rest. But we were like, well, it doesn't look like the protest is going to get too close, so let's go down. And we went, I took a taxi down from Happy Valley to Admiralty. And when I got there, the protest had already reached that area. And so the driver let me out, and I walk across the street, and this firebomb goes off, like not too far away. So I keep going because it wasn't that bad yet. And I get inside the shopping center where the movie Sound of Music sing along is being shown, and they close the gates to the shopping mall. And mind you, this is like 6:30 at night. It's quite early, and they closed the shopping center. I got inside the cinema and was waiting for friends to join me, and they're like, "Should we come? I mean, is it gonna take place? Are they gonna kick us out? Are they gonna show the movie?" Well, in true Hong Kong fashion, the show went on. There was probably about maybe 8 or 9, 10 of us in the cinema. Myself, my 2 friends, and a few other people. And we're inside the cinema singing along to Sound of Music. And if you know Sound of Music, you know the Nazis are there and they're hiding out, and it was so surreal. And we're singing along to my favorite things. Meanwhile, outside, these protests are going on. And it's one of probably my best memories from that time, because I left Hong Kong in 2021. But I was gone for most of 2020 because of COVID. I was in the US here. And anyway, how did I get started talking about that? I don't know. Oh, maybe teaching Cantonese and having learned the language. Yeah, I'm so glad I did. It just opens up so many doors. So if you have a chance to learn the language, or just even learn something about the environment that you're in, the people that you're surrounded by every day, at work, at home. Do you know, for example, your best friend's favorite color? Do you know just things about them that really are the connectors in your relationship? So yeah, I think that's really important to do, because the more you get to know someone, and the more that you find things about them that you can respect and that you enjoy, the closer your relationship obviously is going to be. So yeah, I think that's about all. It's really late. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's like 2:30. It's backwards, so I can't tell like what side of the clock it's on. Anyway, it's really super late, so I'm gonna go. But I apologize. I feel like tonight the quality is not that great. But the point now is just to do them. And then we're moving a house. So when I get to a proper studio, I'm going to make one. It'll be a little bit easier, but at least I'll have the momentum going. So something else I would encourage you is progress over perfection, because I waited for the longest time to make it perfect, and it was never going to be perfect because of the surroundings or whatever, or myself. Progress over perfection. Remember that. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Progress over perfection. You'll get there. You can tweak, tweak, and tweak. So on that happy note, I will say farewell, and I will see you tomorrow on